Hello. Today I want to talk about consciousness. I'm just taking the piss. I do want to talk about consciousness, but it probably won't make a lot of sense because it's one of those topics that is so expansive and crazy, but there's a reason why I'm on this now. So I was watching Doctor Strange the other day. I've never seen it before. And there was in it this being or entity who was in another dimension, in the dark dimension. And it massively triggered me because I had these visions of this being, this consciousness, this something. It was like it was in our reality, not physically, not so you could see it or anything like that. And it was like swallowing souls, like it was eating souls. It was consuming people's souls. People were like selling their souls. It wasn't like the devil or anything like that. It wasn't a being like that. It was this dark being. It was like a really destructive force. It was like, it wasn't just swallowing souls and that, but it was like consuming like energy and things like that in space, and it was creating like nothingness in space where there was supposed to be a lot more around us. It was like kind of consuming this dark level. Like I saw the planet and I saw it in this darkness, and I let out this scream, like, because this thing was beyond me, like beyond anything I can understand. And I let out this scream, this frequency. Oh my god, I've never heard anything like it. These other beings were kind of saying to me, do you want this to be your reality? This is going to be your reality. You get to choose. Do you want this to be your reality? And I said, no, I don't want this to be my reality. And they said, it doesn't have to be your reality. Like, this isn't how the conversation went down or anything like that. There was no words. It was just visions and things. And it was like I had proper PTSD from the whole experience. Like, it went on for a couple of days, or was it just a day? 2 days, I'd say. Really, really weird experience, and I couldn't understand it. And it was like just this really dark energy. Like, this is like not during my awakening. My awakening was like kind of seeing all the light energy and everything like that. But this was like seeing the other side of things. So seeing the darkness, seeing like all these dark beings and entities and things like that, and these like malevolent forces. And yeah, it was like a really, really weird experience. Like, loads of strange things happened, and I like just I don't know how to process it, so I worked through it with my guides a lot and went off what they were saying because I didn't know how to process it, and I was like so traumatized by it. Like, I'd literally just sit there crying because I just couldn't understand it. And it was like, it affected my reality. It literally like affected my reality quite significantly. So yeah, I had loads of visions, like loads of dark visions, and that loads of like, it was almost like they were showing me what these dark beings and these dark entities had planned for the world, like from these dimensions of like not like the one in Doctor Strange. It was different. It was so different to that because it was like black and there was just this force within it. It was like negativity. It was like, I don't know, it's just really weird. Anyway, when I let out the scream, I then saw, like, because I had chosen to have this experience and chosen to know more, like during my awakening, they literally asked me, they said, are you sure you want to know? And I was like, yes. Did not know what I was getting myself in for. I just wanted to know where this love feeling was coming from, and obviously I wanted to know more. I didn't know what was going to happen. And this was like a couple of years later, after I'd had loads of very strange experiences. And I'm not the only one that experienced it either. Other people around me experienced things, or else I would think that I'd gone absolutely doolally. But like, you know, these things really happened. So I let out this scream, and I saw like the earth, and it was like moving up. It was coming out of this darkness, and it was moving up into like this light. And it wasn't like a solid thing. It was like, I don't know how to explain it. It was like the level was shifting up into the light, slowly, like into this light. And in the light, like in the dark, was like all this really heavy, dense, destructive energy. But in the light was the total opposite. It was like complete opposite of the dark. It was like this, there was so much in it. There was so much in it. It was just all this life and all this, like, so much. And it, like, there was so many beings, there was so much consciousness in it, and it was in this light. And it was like, that's where we come from. You're moving back towards where you've come from. You've been in this really dark place, like your planet, the polarity has been in a really dark, dense place, and you're moving out of that dense energy. You're shifting up, you're going up into the higher frequencies. That's what I saw. And then I saw this like flash of light, and it was like pure love that like went across the planet, and it like filled everyone's hearts with love. Like everyone's heart became this shining light, and they just felt all this love from this light. This light was like pure love light energy, and it came and it like filled everyone's hearts. And that makes no sense. But I was thinking about consciousness, because it's like I've had all these experiences with other beings and entities and things like that, who are other points of consciousness. They're other consciousnesses. They communicate very differently. Like when I talk about this stuff, it does not do it justice at all. It literally is like, oh my god, it's embarrassing, it's so lame. I've watched my videos back, and talking about it, I'm just like, oh my god, that just does not do what I experienced justice. But I can try to put it into words, but the words just fail. They just fall so short. The only way that you'd really be able to kind of like understand the full experience is if you were inside my head and you could see and you could feel everything. That's the only way that you'd be able to kind of like really understand what I saw, what I felt, everything, like just crazy. And then like obviously I'm thinking about consciousness, and obviously I'm conscious, and I'm thinking about the universe, and you know how it could be like this consciousness itself, and how we are linked to it, and how the planet could be conscious, because we'd have to be really kind of stupid to think that we know anything. We don't know anything. People have these weird experiences and everyone will say, oh, you're crazy. Because it sounds nuts, it sounds really out there and really weird, but it then changes your whole reality and the way that you view things. So for you, it doesn't sound so crazy, it sounds normal. It sounds like this is just how things work, this is how it is. And I was thinking more about the spiritual side of things and how like our spirituality could be linked to consciousness. How we're all creating this reality, but like how we could all be connected. And how, like, because I feel this connection to the earth. Like, I feel it in my soul. I feel it in my body. I feel this really strong connection. And that, but I'm feeling it through like my consciousness. You know, I'm conscious of these feelings. I'm conscious of like other consciousness that may feel bigger than mine because I'm so small. I'm tiny. Like in the grand scheme of things, I am so tiny. It's ridiculous. Yet my consciousness doesn't feel that size. It doesn't feel that size. It feels like an expanded kind of awareness, like an expanded state of awareness. And I'm like, how can I expand further? I want to expand further. I want to be able to understand more. I want to be able to think more. I want to really be getting into these thoughts and this like feelings and everything like that, to be like really kind of expand more. So consciousness is like an expanded state of being. And obviously we're not going to be the only consciousness out there, because it's mathematically impossible that we would be. Like, just the amount of planets that could sustain some sort of life on them would have other consciousness. Whether we're all linked or not, I don't know. But it kind of stands to reason that there would be more advanced species, more advanced beings and entities and things like that out there that are other consciousness, that could be more evolved than us. That could be what I'm experiencing, other consciousness. Because it's the way that it communicates. It's like seeing my own thoughts. It's like seeing thoughts from somewhere else. That's what I'm experiencing. I'm seeing thoughts. They don't belong to me. They're not my thoughts. I'm not seeing it. It's coming from somewhere else. So I'm experiencing, possibly, I'm not saying I know nothing, like I literally know nothing, but I'm saying it could possibly be other consciousness that I'm connected to, that I've somehow connected to through all these experiences. I'm connected now to another consciousness, or other consciousness is connected to me. It's pretty crazy, pretty nuts. And I got all this from watching Doctor Strange. It just reminded me, the dark dimension reminded me of this dark thing that I saw that was like swallowing souls. Like, and I've seen theories and like conspiracy theories on what this might be, like people selling their souls and stuff like that to this consuming force. It just consumes, like, you know how we consume, like it's a mirror, it's like a reflection of us. Kind of reminds me of the nothing in the Never-Ending Story, the thing that's going along and like eating the whole story, and that like the story doesn't exist because the nothing's eating it all. That's what it reminds me of, something like that. So yeah, that's pretty weird. But it really does make me think. It might not make anyone else think, but it makes me think, like, you know, what other consciousness is there and are we connected to it? You know, who knows? But yeah, just a short one to get that out. Okay, that's all. Alright, bye.